We are actually, as Angro Corporation, lead sponsors for the upcoming Karachi Biennale. I will just tell you that it's taking place in 8 different parts of the city. And the whole idea behind the Biennale is that it brings art and Pakistan's heritage together. And it brings artists from abroad to actually appreciate Pakistan's heritage and also play up on it and bring their art and their installations to our wonderful city. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our esteemed guests. So we're here today with the curator himself, Mr. Faisal Anwar. He's actually based out of Toronto, but he's here and has been kind enough to join us. And we also have with us Ms. Neelufar Farooq, who is a Karachi-based art interventionist and the founding member of the Karachi Biennale Trust. Thank you both so much for being here with us today.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.
2016, when it all began, Karachi was facing a particularly bad bout of violence because the violence had divided the city. It was very fractured, a city that had always been known for its diversity, cultural diversity, for its tolerance, was now obviously, very polarized. So we thought perhaps art could do that. So simultaneously we built a kind of a public audience for art, as well as bringing in a lot of international artists who got to see our city. And I think all that worked quite well. And of course artists got an opportunity to exhibit on that kind of scale, because obviously the gallery offers a very different experience for the artist as well as the audience.
It's an organic, I would say, flow of engagement with the artists, right? Definitely artists who are developing extensive work, they like to see Pakistan definitely from an art perspective. But as an artist, you always like to visit the cities or the countries to get your own perspective, which is actually rather quite different in many ways, because in this so-called globalization, we kind of like to visit those places where you still contain some cultural, traditional context and references, right?
In the first Biennale, we reached out to Latin America.
Okay.
And we got artists from a lot of countries there. From there, and also, art critics from there and curators were involved, because they have similar experiences, a similar kind of growth pattern.
Or a bit more comfortable coming to Pakistan then?
It wasn't the comfort factor so much as we wanted to share narratives. That historically they too have experienced this kind of, like our experiences politically and socially. Their societies also are facing certain transformation. We looked at art and technology because for several reasons. One, of course, was everybody's got a phone in their hand, right from the people who work in your garden to all of us using it as a tool for working and entertainment connection. So that is something everybody uses, but what's beyond that is something that people have yet to discover, the whole range, the spectrum of technology. So we felt that Pakistani artists haven't really begun to go very deep into it. So this would be a platform for them, an opportunity to really, maybe discover things. And if they are willing, they would collaborate with others, people from the tech world. So that would be good, interesting partnerships.
The title is Collective Imagination Now and the Next, which is actually reflecting on the contemporary art movements which is happening globally, which is a hybrid art, what we call now, right? We've been going through many different iterations of how we define art or the movement of the art, right? I'll give you an example of my own work, which I've been developing for the past 2 years. Is working with climate scientists in North America, including Brazil, and so what my take was, I wanted to tell a better stories with the data, because what my struggle was that scientist is doing really amazing work with their data, but their lingo is so scientific that it's actually perhaps unable to reach out to us.
Right. I would have never thought of it that way. That is so interesting, to be able to take data and mold it into art that people can understand what that data actually represents and means is not something that I would have come up with.
हमारा तो फोकस ही ये है कि हम पब्लिक स्पेसेस में जाएं और शहर भर या जहाँ से भी लोग आए पब्लिक ऑडियंसेस को इनवाइट करें, वेलकम करें, ताकि वो इस तरह का काम देखें, कॉम्प्लेक्स काम देखें। और पता है लोग सब बहुत ही दिलचस्प तरीके से उसको रिस्पॉन्ड करते हैं। लाइक पब्लिक में जब आर्ट दिखाया जाता है इस काइंड ऑफ स्केल पर, तो क्या होता है कि एक तो आप हमारे यहाँ म्यूजियम्स नहीं है तो आप आर्ट देख पाते हैं कि दुनिया भर में क्या हो रहा है। जैसे भी फैसल ने कहा, दुनिया भर में आर्ट के मूवमेंट क्या है, ये एक जदीद मूवमेंट है आर्ट और टेक्नोलॉजी का, तो उसको लोग देख पाएंगे और बहुत दिलचस्पी से देखते हैं लोग। एक तो ये चीज़ है। दूसरी बात है कि उसमें जो बात कही जा रही है, जैसे इफ़ दैट वर्क इज़ अबाउट इकोलॉजी, तो वो कुछ इंटरैक्टिव काम भी है जिसमें आप भी उसमें से इन सम फॉर्म और द अदर यू विल इंटरैक्ट, तो वो आपके ज़हन पे काफ़ी असर छोड़ता है। फिर एक और चीज़ है कि क्रिएटिविटी। हमारे यहाँ आजकल जो बात हो रही है दुनिया भर में ये हो रही है कि आपको स्किल्स भी होना चाहिए और एक जहनी तौर पे आपको क्रिएटिव भी होना चाहिए, ताकि आप नई चीज़ों के प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग करें, आप एक नई चीज़ को तख्लीक करें, आगे की तरफ सोचें। दूसरी चीज़ है एंटरटेनमेंट, जिसको हम सोचते नहीं हैं, बट आई थिंक एंटरटेनमेंट एक ऐसा लफ्ज़ हो गया है कि बड़ा एक पैसिव एक्सपीरियंस। एंटरटेनमेंट एक आर्ट आपको इस तरह का पर्टिकुलरली आपको एक सोचने पे मजबूर करने वाला एंटरटेनमेंट है। The Karachi Biennale, because they address different sort of aspects. One, of course, is for artists who have already been working in the field for a long time. That's the Lifetime Achievement Award, and I think that's a tremendous recognition for something who has selflessly given. It can be to any aspect of art. It can be as an academic, as an artist, or even as a critic who has critically looked and promoted the discourse. Then, of course, right at the other end of the spectrum is the emerging artist, and which this time Angro is also supporting that, which is opportunities for young artists under the age of 30. Who want to experiment but do not have that kind of a platform. So this propels them. It's a springboard for them. And then we have, of course, Performance Art Prize, because that's a new genre that's been developing in Pakistan, and we wanted to support that. Who attends the Biennale votes for it.
Oh wow, everyone.
Yes,
throughout the course of the
throughout the thing. So we have this app. Last time we had the app, and prior to that we had a physical ballot. Now, everyone who's a visitor can tick off their favorite work.
It's like the people's choice.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Very nice.
I think this is beautiful because I just wanted to add one thing which you were having a conversation earlier. I mean, coming from in Canadian space, and I look around these institutions and look around the art activities which runs from grassroots level, right? I think corporation has a lot more role to play, right? Patronage for the artist happens since centuries, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And we need these type of engagement, especially where we don't have state level support, especially where we don't have museums and public spaces which are accessible. And I think role of the biennial is beyond just looking at the work, right? It runs deeper. So I just want to thank Angro.
Yeah, I always feel that we're hoping that very soon, maybe by the 5th Biennale, people will want a contemporary art museum in the city. They will say, why shouldn't we have a brick and mortar space where we can just go and see good art like they do all over the world?
Absolutely. We at Angro are very happy to be a part of it, and our thinking behind it, very similar to our thinking behind supporting the Pakistan Pavilion in the Dubai Expo, is that representing Pakistan in a very positive way and showcasing our artists and our history and our heritage is every Pakistani's responsibility, everyone who is able to. It is our distinct responsibility and an honor for us as well. And so that is why we've decided to partner with the Karachi Biennale Trust and be a part of the Karachi Biennale this year, and we're really looking forward to it and hope to have many more inshallah engagements to come with KBT as well in the future.